What's up, everybody? It's your boy Overexposed here, the internet's most overexposed detractor. And I'm back with another overexposed video where my lighting is bad because I'm sitting right next to the window and I don't have any blinds. Anyways, today we're gonna do a narcissistic online quiz because I guess this is what we do now in these pre-recorded videos. But anyways, we're gonna do it on behalf of Dave and we're gonna see if he has narcissism or not. Which I mean, I don't know. Let's read what this is gonna be about, and keep in mind this is not a professional diagnosis. It's not a medical diagnosis. It's more like, you know, the first thing that shows up when you Google narcissism quiz, and basically that's it. And we're gonna do it. We're gonna find out what we win, which probably nothing. But anyways, let's see what this is about. People with narcissistic personality disorder often present with 5 or more specific symptoms, including grandiosity and self-importance, sense of specialness and uniqueness, fantasies of perfection and superiority, need for praise and attention, strong sense of entitlement, lack of empathy, jealousy, envy, and distrust, arrogance, and scorn. Hey, it's scorn. Shout out to scorn. In a pattern of manipulating others. Now that's a very nice checklist, and we can go through each one of those and pull up a clip. But instead, we're just gonna have the quiz that is following. Now, not everyone will have the same symptoms. The condition can present in different ways from person to person. Keep that in mind. You don't have to check the whole list to be a certified narcissistic badass. Now, the instructions are: you're gonna find a list of 40 statements. For each one, choose the one that best matches you, even if it's not a perfect fit. Complete the quiz on your own in one sitting, which takes most people about 5 to 10 minutes. Answer all the questions honestly for the most accurate result. Now, I'm gonna try and be as honest as possible and justify my reasoning behind each one of the answers, because we're answering it on behalf of somebody else, right? We're doing it for DSP. Now, let's begin with the first one. Which statement best matches you? I have a natural talent for influencing people, and I am not good at influencing people. Now, I would say that, I don't know if he has a natural talent. It's more like people are sympathetic towards him, and people that are more susceptible to manipulation are more susceptible to being influenced by him. But on this one, I would say he has a natural talent for influencing people, even as it says here, even if it's not a perfect fit. This is not a perfect fit, but I think it's closer to reality than the alternative. Now the next one, modesty doesn't become me, and I am essentially a modest person. Now, Dave is a master flexer. He flexes everything. He flexes having a cat, having a wife, having a fucking PlayStation, having neck phones, everything. So this one is a no-brainer. Modesty doesn't become me. Next one, which statement best matches you? That's, by the way, the question for all the answers. I would do almost anything on a dare. I tend to be fairly cautious person. Now, he's very, very impulsive. He says things, he does things that is just influenced by his impulses. So I would say I would do almost anything on a dare. But recently he has become a pretty, I wouldn't say cautious, more like paranoid and anxious. So I don't really know. I would say that almost anything on a dare is closer to how he would act or how his history of behavior is than fairly cautious. So let's go with this one. When people compliment me, I sometimes get embarrassed. I know that I am good because everybody keeps telling me so. Dude. Speaking of meaningful content, you know, this is the justification of why his content is meaningful, because people keep telling him so. So it's absolutely the second answer. I know that I'm good because everybody keeps telling me so. Next one. The thought of ruling the world frightens the hell out of me. And then the next one. If I ruled the world, it will be a better place. I'm sticking for the next one because this is the same guy who constantly keeps telling companies how to treat their employees, how to work. and basically implies that if he ran them, everything would be smooth as butter. I'm going on with, if I ruled the world, it would be a better place. Then, which statement best matches you? I can usually talk my way out of anything. Or I try... I try to accept the consequences of my behavior. So this one is instantly not it. Instantly we press X to go to the other answer. Because he is the guy who never accepts the consequences of his behavior unless it's 5 to 10 years after the event for which the consequences has happened. And then we look back and it's like, yeah, I was actually an asshole. But this attempt of owning your shit is usually served to point out how much you've changed and currently how you're a better person. So it's almost like a flex. Anyways, yeah, I can usually talk my way out of anything with like mental gymnastics, semantics, and basically just all around bullshitting. Then we got the second one. I prefer to blend in with a crowd, and I like to be the center of attention. I mean, DSP's a streamer. He likes to be the center of attention. He can't even have people in his own chat talking about something else than him. So it's kind of a no-brainer. I like to be the center of attention. It's the next one. Second one. I will be a success. Versus, I am not too concerned about success. Now, I know he says he's not too concerned about success, but that kind of sounds like sour grapes. It sounds like something that he can't get, something that he can't achieve because obviously the system is corrupt and everybody is against him. Otherwise, he would succeed. But he actually would want it. He wants to be a success, naturally. Like everybody wants. And he has had success in the past. So this one is one where I think about it a little bit. I'm willing to go with I'm not too concerned about success on this one. Because I feel like that's kind of how he convinced himself to believe at this point, currently. So let's move on to the next one. I am no better or worse than most people. And I think I'm a special person. Now, I'm just gonna tick, I think I'm a special person. We're gonna move on, because everything he talks about is special. Everything that happens to him is special. Everything that he has is special. Every experience that he has is special, unique, and amazing. And nobody else has the same experience. And if you had, then you're lying about it, obviously. Now, we got the next one. I'm not sure if I would make a good leader. And the other answer is, I see myself as a good leader. Now, this one makes me think about it. Because I don't think he's ever been in a position of being a leader of anything. He would claim to be a leader, like speaking of Project 7, when he was supposedly like the alpha of the content. That's an actual quote, by the way. He called himself the alpha of the content. But about a leader, I don't know if he's a good one. Maybe it's just my lore is kind of weak on this one. But I'm thinking if I had to pick one, I think he would see himself as a good leader, seeing how, like I mentioned earlier, he talks about all these companies and how their leadership is really bad, assuming and alluding to him being better than them and him being able to manage better than them. So I'm gonna click on I see myself as a good leader for now. Now, we get the next one. I am assertive, or I wish I were more assertive, which I'm thinking is the second one. I think it is I wish I was more assertive, because sometimes I get the feeling like he wishes he would have more authority for his chat, so they would respect him more, so they would kind of do what he says more. Because even sometimes his own fans, they don't listen to him, they mock him, and yeah, obviously he's not as assertive as he wants to be. Now, next one. I like to have authority over other people. And then we have, I don't mind following orders. Now, whenever people talk about DSP getting a job, this one theme comes up very often. And this is him not wanting to follow orders and having a boss. Because when he had a boss, it was bad and they were stupid. So I like to have authority over other people. Obviously, he loves power tripping on chat. Even on people that he likes in chat, he likes power tripping on them every once in a while when they say something that he doesn't like. He kind of puts him on the spot. He puts him in the spotlight. He makes him feel bad. So yeah, let's move on to the next one. Which statement best matches you? I find it easy to manipulate people. I don't like it when I find myself manipulating people. Now that's kind of interesting. Because this, I can't really answer this accurately on his behalf because I don't really know what he thinks. I don't think he intentionally tries to manipulate people. Like when we talk about gaslighting, like gaslighting is an intentional thing that you do, that is like malicious. And I don't think he does it intentionally. That's just how his brain works. He just knows that if he says things in a certain way, if he frames himself in a certain space, like as a victim, for example, he's gonna get what he wants. So I don't really think he thinks he's manipulating anybody when he manipulates people. So I would say the second one is more accurate. Now, I insist upon getting the respect that is due me. And then we have, I usually get the respect that I deserve. Which, obviously, the first one, I insist upon getting the respect that is due me. That's absolutely it. He's the guy he calls himself the whipping boy of the internet for no reason. So, of course, this one, it's a no-brainer. We move on to the next one. I don't particularly like to show off my body. And then we have, I like to show off my body. Now, I don't think he likes to show off his body. There's not much about it, and it's not great, so I'll just tick this one and I'll move on. I can read people like a book, and people are sometimes hard to understand, which absolutely is the second one. Prime example is like Project 7, when people were obviously unhappy with the way they were treated. He couldn't tell. He expects people to just go to him and tell him explicitly what they want and what they mean. So he has shown that he doesn't really understand them or like can relate to their behavior. Now, if I feel competent, I am willing to take responsibility for making decisions. And then I like to take responsibility for making decisions. Oh, now that's kind of the DSP thing. Or it's like, you know, there's nothing I could do. It's not my fault. I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct. It's kind of a meme. It's a part of why he is a living meme. Where he never takes responsibility for decisions to the point where his whole chat determines what he plays on stream. He determines what hat he's gonna wear. He determines what vest he's gonna wear. All that nonsense. And it's not really up to him because it's easier and the consequences are not gonna be... He's not going to be held responsible for it. So I think if I had to pick one, then it's going to be the first one. If I feel competent, I'm willing to take responsibility for making decisions. Then we get, I just want to be reasonably happy, and I want to amount to something in the eyes of the world. Now, this is a pretty interesting one. Even though he says he just wants to be happy, just wants to be a regular dude, that's kind of... It seems to me like it's a part of his humble, like fake layer of humbleness, because he wants to seem like a small regular guy, but when he was actually successful, he wanted to be someone. He wanted to be respected. He wanted to amount to something in the eyes of the world. So I'm gonna click on this one. If I had to think about what he genuinely feels versus what he actually says on a fucking live stream where half the people watching don't even trust him, I would say the second one. My body is nothing special. I like to look at my body. Yeah, I don't think he cares about his body or likes it that much because he treats it like shit. And it doesn't look that great, so I'm gonna say my body is nothing special. Next off, I try not to be a show-off. Or, I will usually show off if I get the chance. Well, this one, you know this one. He likes to flex. Literally everything. His wife is gonna make him a dinner. He's gonna brag about it. He's gonna buy a new piece of hardware. He's gonna flex. He's gonna go on Twitter posting some weird shit. Once he made a pizza and he went on Twitter and like bragged about it. It was a terrible pizza. Anyways, you've seen him even back in the day. Go look at those condo vlogs. He was showing off everything he's got. Anyways, I always know what I'm doing. And then sometimes I'm not sure of what I'm doing. Well, that's kind of his gimmick where he pretty much always thinks he knows better than everybody else. Unless he needs help with something. Now, when he needs help with something, he basically pretends like he doesn't know anything. And when he feels like really confident about stuff, he pretends like he knows everything. And when it doesn't work out, then the instructions were broken, or the recipe was messed up and it was wrong. So I'm kind of split down the middle on this time. Sometimes I'm not sure of what I'm doing. I guess it's closer to I always know what I'm doing. I guess so. I don't think he always knows, because that's kind of a part of his gimmick where he's completely helpless sometimes, and it's like, help, how do I do this? My TV broke. I fucked up the dinner. Chat, please. Anyways, I sometimes depend on people to get things done. I rarely depend on anyone else to get things done. Obviously, first one, he not even sometimes, most of the times depends on people to get things done. And I'm not even talking about like contributing. I'm talking about people coming up with names for his shows. They're coming up with formats. They're coming up with games he's gonna play as much as possible. Sometimes I tell good stories. Everybody likes to hear my stories. I don't know, man. If I had to answer on his behalf, I would say everybody likes to hear my stories, because if they didn't, then why would you be telling stories constantly on your streams? The same stories over and over again. He's talking about like Street Fighter from 2005. He's talking about Burger King from 2020. He's talking about all kinds of shit all over the place. So if he didn't feel like people cared about him, why do it? Okay, let's move on to the next one. I expect a great deal from other people. I like to do things for other people. Okay, yeah, he expects the world from everybody else, and he doesn't hold himself anywhere near to the same standard. That's kind of also a part of why he's a living meme. I will never be satisfied until I get all that I deserve. I take my satisfactions as they come. Now, the official public opinion that he shares is that I take my satisfactions as they come. You know, he's a humble guy. He's a small guy, right? He gets satisfied with what he got. He got a beautiful family, a beautiful house, a job that he loves. But that's kind of an old narcissist kind of got used to the fact that he will never get what he deserves because the system is corrupt, because everybody is against him and it's nothing he could do. That's kind of the DSP gimmick. So I would say I will never be satisfied until I get all that I deserve, because that's just how his behavior seems to me. And again, this is not really a scientific thing. I'm filling up an internet quiz, but it's pretty fun. And obviously, he needs to fill this so it can be as accurate as possible, and not some dude on the internet that doesn't like him and thinks he's a narcissist already. Anyways, compliments embarrass me. Or I like to be complimented. He loves to be complimented. Like, somebody in chat is gonna troll him by saying, "Hey Phil, you're really good at like talking at a microphone, dude." And he's gonna like give you like the smug little smirk. Yeah, man, I've been talking to a microphone since like I was like 10 years old, and you know, I've been doing it for so long. Like, that's like, I'm really good at it. And the next one, I have a strong will to power. Or power for its own sake doesn't interest me. And I mean, at this point, he's so powerless in pretty much any facet of his existence that he's gonna get satisfied with any type of power he gets. Like, the power to ban somebody in chat, he treats it like he's gonna shoot them. He treats it like he's stabbing somebody in chat. So next one. I don't care about new fads and fashions. I like to start new fads and fashions. Now, he doesn't care about the new fashions. Let's say a new video game comes up and all the streamers are playing it and they're having a blast. You know, it's super chill and fun and interactive. And he claims he doesn't care about it because they're gonna get all the views and all the money and he's not gonna get any, and that's gonna make him look bad and feel insecure, probably. So I like to think that he doesn't care about him, or at least he doesn't seem to care about him. Now, next one. But then again, when I think about it, he plays stuff day one, he hypes it up so much, and that's a fad. Like when Elden Ring came out, he was hyping it up so much. But then I like to start new fads and fashions. I don't really know. But I'm gonna stick with this one. It's not really gonna change much, so let's move on. I like to look at myself in the mirror. I'm not particularly interested in looking myself in the mirror. I don't know about this one. Because, I don't know. I don't really get the impression that he likes looking at himself in the mirror, so I'm just gonna press the not interested. Move on. I like to be the center of attention. It makes me uncomfortable to be the center of attention. And yeah, he likes to be the center of attention. It's not really up for debate. I can live my life in any way I want. And then, people can't always live their lives in terms of what they want. That's two pretty interesting answers. I don't really know if I have much insight to give in this one. He can live his life in any way he wants. If it comes down to like champions, people criticizing him for spending all this money on a mobile game, but man, he can live his life in any way he wants to. Well, let's click on this one. Being an authority doesn't mean that much to me, and people always seem to recognize my authority. Well, that's not true. Obviously, nobody sees him for shit. He doesn't have any authority for shit. Even in his own chat, the only thing he can do is just ban somebody and talk trash about it. That's not much of an authority. People don't really respect him as a person of authority. And we're not even just talking about on stream, just in real life. You see the people that are his peers, like streamers, they don't respect him. They see him as a living meme. Next one. I would prefer to be a leader, and it makes little sense to me whether I'm a leader or not. He would like to prefer to be a leader. I think there was a similar question earlier on. I believe in this one. So, which statement best matches you? I'm going to be a great person. I hope I am going to be successful. Well, the hope one gets me, you know, because his hope and cope economy is one of the most interesting things about him, where he just can sit there and be like, man, I hope we get the support, because otherwise, like, I can't pay my bills, man. So I hope I'm gonna be successful is the one that I'm gonna click for. And he doesn't also know he's gonna be a great person. Anyways, people sometimes believe what I tell them, or I can make anybody believe anything I want them to. That's not true. So as the first one, people sometimes believe what he tells them, because of course there's so many people that don't believe literally anything he says. So they negate the people that believe everything he says. I am a born leader. Leadership is a quality that takes a long time to develop. I don't think he's a born leader. There's not much that he's talked about throughout the time that makes me think he's a born leader. So I'm just gonna click on the second one, just to be safe. I think it's more accurate. Then, I wish somebody would someday write my biography. Hey, June the King, can you write my biography for me and be completely neutral and factual, please? Please, Sir June? Or, I don't like people to pry into my life for any reason. Now, this one gets me, because they're both correct. Now, for the one on the left, I wish somebody would someday write my biography, is June the King. He's hoping that he's gonna get a factual documentary made about him by the GOAT. A factual documentary, Sir June. And the other one is people prying into his life for any reason. You know, he keeps his private life private unless he needs to beg for money. So I would say the second one applies more. He doesn't like people prying into his life. Now the next one, and there's 3 left, and we're about to find out if he's a narcissist or not. According to psychcentral.com, as you know, the definitive place of getting medical diagnoses. So obviously, let's find out what's up. I get upset when people don't notice how I look when I go out in public. And I don't mind blending into the crowd when I go out in public. I think is the second one. Because, you know, he's paranoid of people recognizing him in public and messing with him. As you could tell, there was this one video on DSP Reacts when he saw Perry in public, and those the cart narcs, they confronted Perry, and something happened, and DSP was like, he was shook. because they found him in real life, and he had this big rant about how you're not supposed to harass people like that in real life. And he seemed like super paranoid that somebody might find him and tell him he's got gout or something. So, the penultimate question. I am more capable than other people. There is a lot that I can learn from other people. Now, there's merit to both of them, right? There's a lot he can learn from other people, is what he can say when he talks about watching other streamers and other Let's Players and watching their playthroughs. But I think he watches them just to point out how much better he is than them, to point out just how they don't deserve the success they have, and justify how he deserves that success because all those reasons. So 100%, he's more capable than other people. That's what he believes. And now, the final question. I am much like everybody else, or I am an extraordinary person. And I mean, this is the same guy. He talks about his cat like it's a human being, like it's his own son. He talks about all the normal, everyday stuff people have to deal with, like it's the most special, profound experiences that he's ever had. So, this is one that is absolutely correct. And I can't really see DSP filling in this test, because he just wouldn't be honest. Because there's so many questions that I could see him answering in a different way, especially if it's on stream. Because even though that's never going to happen, but if it was, I don't think he would ever be honest. So I believe I might be even more objective than he can be about this. But I don't know, I'm just a fucking dumbass on the internet. Now let's get the results. Let's find out. And between 12 and 15 is average. Celebrities often score closer to 18. Narcissists score over 20. And we got... we got... You're a total narcissist with 20 plus. Scoring for superiority is 4. You scored particularly high in superiority, suggesting you feel that you're superior to most others. Exhibitionism. Exhibitionism. You scored particularly high in exhibitionism, suggesting you have a higher need than most to be the center of attention in any group or gathering. And entitlement. He scored a 6. Is this a 6 out of 6 or a 6 out of 10? I'm guessing it's a 10-ish? You scored particularly high on entitlement, suggesting that you may have a higher sense of entitlement than most people. So there you go. You win. Congratulations. You are the GOAT of narcissism, 20 plus, unlike Leanna. Anyways, this was it for the video. Go away. Bye.